Frank, you just stand at the door. The real security team will handle things. Museum director Amanda Pierce, 35 years old, Yale graduate, thin-framed glasses, always speaking hurriedly, was currently giving instructions to 68-year-old security guard Frank Morrison. Frank quietly nodded. Understood, Miss Pierce. And please, don't talk too much to tourists. Just check tickets, okay? Okay. Amanda walked away in her heels. Frank looked at his uniform. Navy blue security uniform, cheap fabric, security, written on his chest, $8 per hour, minimum wage. Nobody knew. 30 years ago, Frank Morrison worked in the CIA's most successful international crime unit. He conducted operations in Rome, Paris, Tokyo, Moscow. He caught the world's most dangerous art thieves, arms traffickers, terrorist financiers. But now he was just an old museum security guard. And nobody cared. The Metropolitan Museum of Art was in the heart of New York, a massive building, 2 million pieces, 10,000 visitors daily. Frank Morrison arrived at work at 6 a.m., put on his uniform, attached his radio, and went to the main entrance. The job was simple: check tickets, inspect bags, smile at tourists, stand for 8 hours, no breaks, $8 per hour. The other security guards were young, ages 25 to 35. People who went to the gym, played with their smartphones, saw Frank as old grandpa. "Hey Frank, want coffee?" asked young security guard Tyler, 28 years old. "Thank you, Tyler. How are you today? Do your legs hurt?" Tyler smiled, well-intentioned but condescending. "I'm fine. Thank you." Tyler walked away. Frank stood at the door. Tourists came. He checked tickets. Nobody looked at Frank twice, just an old security guard. But Frank saw everything. That young couple's bag with a hidden camera. That Russian tourist group's leader was actually a former KGB agent. That woman's bag contained a small tool, a lockpick set. 30 years in the CIA. Frank had learned to read people, noticed small details, sensed dangers, but nobody asked, nobody cared. That afternoon, Amanda Pierce called a meeting. Security team, 8 people, Frank included. "Everyone," Amanda said. "Friday we're opening a special exhibition, Impressionist collection, Van Gogh, Monet, Renoir. Total value, $250 million. The security team whistled. "Therefore," Amanda continued, "we're increasing security. Tyler, you'll be in the exhibition hall. Mike, you'll monitor cameras. Lisa, you'll control VIP entrance." She didn't look at Frank. Frank raised his hand. "Ms. Pierce, where will I be?" Amanda looked at Frank through her glasses. "Frank, you will stay at the main entrance, as usual. But the special exhibition—" "Frank," Amanda interrupted, "you're 68 years old. The special exhibition requires high security, young, fast, tech-savvy people. You just check tickets, okay?" Silence. Tyler, Mike, Lisa, everyone looked down. They were embarrassed but said nothing. Frank nodded. "Understood." The meeting ended. Everyone dispersed. Tyler came to Frank. "Sorry, Frank. Amanda can be harsh sometimes." "It's fine," Frank said. "She's right, I'm old." But inside he was thinking other things. $250 million, special exhibition, Friday opening, VIP guests, high profile, perfect target. That night, at home, Frank had a scotch, in his old apartment, alone. In the living room, on the wall, was an old photograph, 1995, Paris, Louvre Museum. Young agent Frank Morrison, 38 years old, in a suit, standing in front of the Louvre. Beside him, the CIA team. That day, history's biggest art heist attempt had been prevented. An international theft ring had planned to steal the Mona Lisa. They prepared for 6 months, got someone inside, hacked the security system, planned everything, but Frank stopped them. 3 months of investigation, thousands of hours of surveillance, noted every detail, followed every suspect. And at midnight, when the thieves entered the Louvre, Frank and his team were there, waiting. 7 thieves captured, Mona Lisa saved. Frank received praise from the CIA, but Frank didn't boast. He did his job, quietly. For 30 years, he prevented 47 major art heists in Tokyo, Rome, London, New York. And now, nobody knew who he was. But maybe that's good, Frank thought. Maybe retirement means being invisible. Friday came. Special exhibition opening day. The museum opened at 8 o'clock, but VIP guests were coming at 7 o'clock. Special preview. Frank was at the main entrance, as usual, checking tickets. Tyler was in the exhibition hall, wearing a suit, had an earpiece, looked professional. Amanda was greeting VIPs, sparkly dress, perfect makeup. Businesswoman. VIPs started arriving. Wealthy collectors, art critics, journalists. Frank stood at the door and watched. First, VIP, elderly woman, in her 70s, diamond necklace, has a driver, real collector. Second VIP, middle-aged man, French accent, Gucci suit, art critic. Third, VIP, young couple, in their 30s, Italian, very intimate, look like lovers. Frank focused on that couple. The woman was beautiful, black dress, red lipstick, but her eyes were cold, professional. The man was handsome, Italian suit, smiling, but his hands were tense. Ready? Frank watched them. They entered the museum. Amanda greeted them. Benvenuti, welcome. The Italian couple smiled, walked to the exhibition hall. Frank grabbed his radio, called Tyler. Tyler, are you watching that Italian couple? Tyler was surprised. Frank? Yes, they're here. Why? Keep an eye on them. Frank, they're VIP, invited, no problem. Watch them anyway. Tyler was annoyed. Frank, you just stand at the door. I'll handle the interior. Frank turned off the radio, but didn't stop watching. An hour later, Frank took a break, but didn't actually take a break. He entered the museum, went to the exhibition hall. From the back, disappeared among tourists. He found the Italian couple. The woman was standing in front of a Van Gogh painting. Starry Night replica. The original was at MoMA, but this was also valuable. $15 million. The man was beside her. But his gaze wasn't on the painting, it was on the security cameras. Frank watched. The woman opened her bag, took out a small device, laser measuring tool. She was measuring the painting, dimensions, frame thickness. The man took out his phone, pretending to take pictures, but actually scanning the security system, Wi-Fi networks, camera angles. Frank's pulse quickened. They're thieves, 30 years of experience. Frank knew thieves, their behaviors, gestures, eyes. This couple wasn't tourists, weren't art lovers. They were thieves, and they were scouting. Frank grabbed his radio, called Amanda. Ms. Pierce, urgent, suspicious activity in exhibition hall. Amanda was annoyed. Frank, why are you in the exhibition hall? You should be at the door. Ms. Pierce, that Italian couple. Frank, please return to your post. Don't disturb the VIPs. But they're... Frank, Amanda spoke harshly, you're a security guard. I'm the manager. I make decisions. Now please return to the door. The phone hung up. Frank looked at the Italian couple. The woman looked at him. Their eyes met. The woman smiled. A cold smile. And walked away with the man. Frank watched them. The couple left the museum, got into a black Mercedes, left. Frank noted the license plate, NY847KLM. That night, Frank went home, but didn't sleep. He opened his computer. He had access to old CIA databases. He was retired, but his security clearance was still active. He ran the plate, NY847KLM. Result, rental car. Rented yesterday, JFK Airport. Name, Marco Antonelli. Frank searched the name. Result, Italian citizen, 35 years old. Art gallery owner. Clean record, too clean. Frank dug deeper. Interpol database. Result, Marco Antonelli, suspect. 2015 museum heist in Rome. Released due to insufficient evidence. Frank searched the woman. Facial recognition from photo. Result, Sofia Rossi, Italian, 32 years old. Former art restorer. 2018 arrested in Paris for fake painting production. 3 years prison. Frank looked at his screen. They're professional art thieves. And they scouted the museum. Frank called Amanda. It was midnight, but it was important. Hello? Amanda answered in a sleepy voice. Ms. Pierce, this is Frank. I researched that Italian couple. They're... Frank, it's midnight. What are you doing? They're thieves. Interpol records. Marco Antonelli and Sofia Rossi. They're going to rob the museum. Silence. Then Amanda laughed. A tired, annoyed laugh. Frank, did you watch a CIA movie? They're VIP guests, art collectors. You're paranoid. But Interpol... Frank, listen, you're 68 years old. You're a retired... I don't know what you were. But now you're a security guard. Tomorrow, stand at the door, okay? Good night. The phone hung up. Frank looked at the computer. Amanda didn't believe him, but Frank knew. They're coming. Saturday morning, Frank came to work. But this time, he did something different. He examined the museum's security system. Logged into Amanda's computer, he knew her password. It was too simple. Museum 2025. He reviewed camera footage. From yesterday, that Italian couple. The woman, Sophia, stood near the painting for 47 seconds, measured with laser device, but at the same time seemed to have planted a small Wi-Fi device under the security camera. The man, Marco, while taking pictures with his phone, actually hacked the Wi-Fi network, gained access to the museum's security system. Frank checked the system for anomalies. He found it. Yesterday at 7 p.m., a 3-second system error. Cameras went offline. Very brief. Nobody noticed. They're testing. They found the system's weak point. Frank researched further. Exhibition hall security system, motion sensors, glass break detectors, weight sensors, alarm sounds if paintings are removed, cameras. But there was one weak point. The HVAC system. The HVAC came from the ceiling, and HVAC ducts weren't connected to security sensors. They're coming from there. Frank examined construction plans. HVAC ducts descended from the roof to the exhibition hall. Frank raised his head from the computer and remembered 2003, Tokyo, National Museum. Back then, a Japanese theft ring had made a similar plan. They entered through HVAC ducts, stole an 18th century samurai sword worth $20 million. But Frank caught them because he saw one detail. When the thieves left, they placed a fake weight to balance the sword's weight, but there was a 200-gram error. Frank noticed, intervened before the alarm sounded. Now the same thing was happening, history repeating, and nobody was listening. Saturday night, the museum closed. 9 p.m. security team went home. Only the night guard remained. Mike, 26 years old, young security guard, monitoring from cameras in the security room. Frank would normally go home, but he didn't. He waited in a cafe near the museum until 11 p.m. Then he returned to the museum through the back entrance. He had a key given to him as a security guard. He entered quietly, went to the security room. Mike was listening to music with headphones, not watching cameras. Frank quietly went up to the exhibition hall, turned off lights, waited in darkness, looked at the ceiling, checked HVAC vents. In one, there was a small mark. Screw holes. Someone had touched the screws recently. They're coming tonight. Frank prepared. He brought his old CIA equipment, night vision goggles, radio, zip tie handcuffs, flashlight, small camera, and waited. Midnight, 00:15. Frank in darkness in the corner of the exhibition hall hid behind a sculpture. Silence. Then a sound from above, from the ceiling. The HVAC vent slowly opened. He saw a rope descending. First person descended. Sophia. Black clothing, mask, gloves, professional equipment. Second person descended. Marco. Same clothing. They quietly landed on the floor. Sophia took out a small tablet, checked the security system, smiled. System hacked, cameras on loop, alarm disabled. Marco approached the Van Gogh painting. Starry Night replica. $15 million. Took out a special tool. Started separating the painting from the frame. Quietly, professionally, 3 minutes, painting free. Sophia took out a special tube, rolled the painting inside, secured it. Marco took out a fake painting, same size, same frame, placed it in its place. Perfect. Nobody would notice, at least until morning. Sophia looked at Marco. Andiamo. Let's go. They walked toward the rope and Frank stepped out from the darkness. Fermi. Stop. Sophia and Marco turned, shocked. In the darkness, an old man, security uniform, flashlight. Sophia laughed. Nono? Grandpa? Who are you? Frank spoke calmly, in Italian, with perfect accent. Me? Just a security guard. But you, Sophia Rossi and Marco Antonelli, are international art thieves. Marco tensed. How do you know us? I worked for the CIA for 30 years, International Crime Unit. I caught 47 thieves like you, Marco. Silence. Sophia pulled out a knife. Old man, step back. We don't want to hurt anyone. Frank smiled. You, 2018 in Paris, caught, 3 years prison. Marco, you were a suspect in Rome in 2015, released due to insufficient evidence. But this time, there's evidence. Frank showed the small camera. I recorded everything. Marco angrily looked at Sophia. I told you this museum is difficult. Sophia gripped the knife tightly. Old man, give me the camera, or what? Frank took a step forward. You'll stab me? Then what? Murder in a museum. FBI comes, international case, you get caught. Sophia hesitated. Frank continued. But I'll make you an offer. Drop the painting. Leave now. I won't follow you. Won't give the camera to police. Leave the U.S. within 24 hours and never return. Marco was surprised. Why are you letting us go? Frank looked seriously. Because I'm retired. No longer an agent, just an old security guard, and nobody would believe me. But you, if you're smart, you'll use this opportunity. Sophia and Marco looked at each other. Then Sophia dropped the painting on the floor. Andiamo, Marco. They both climbed the rope, exited through the HVAC duct, left. Frank picked up the painting, hung it back, threw the fake painting in the trash, and went to the security room. Sunday morning, the museum opened. Amanda Pierce checked the exhibition hall. Everything was normal. Paintings were in place. Frank was at the door, as usual. Amanda saw Frank. Good morning, Frank. Good morning, Ms. Pierce. Any problems last night? Frank smiled. No, everything was quiet. Amanda nodded. Good. I was worried because of your paranoid theories. I understand. Amanda walked away. Frank looked outside. Black Mercedes came, Sophia and Marco, with suitcases, going to the airport. Sophia looked at the museum, saw Frank, nodded, a sign of respect. Frank smiled. They left. Tyler came to Frank. Hey, Frank, were you at the museum last night? Why do you ask? I saw something weird on security cameras. At midnight, in the exhibition hall, someone was there, but the silhouette was too blurry. Was it you? Frank shrugged. Me? No, I was home, sleeping. Tyler looked suspiciously. Okay, weird. Tyler walked away. Frank quietly smiled. A week later, the FBI called the museum. Ms. Pierce, the reason we're calling is that last week Italian art thieves Marco Antonelli and Sofia Rossi were in New York. Did they target your museum? Amanda was shocked. What? No, I mean, they were on our VIP list, but they're international thieves, wanted in 12 countries. They scouted your museum, but no heist occurred. Do you know anything? Amanda froze. Frank was right. She hung up the phone, ran to the security room. Tyler? Last week's security recordings? Tyler opened the computer. Here, Ms. Pierce. Saturday night, midnight, camera footage in the exhibition hall. Sophia and Marco stealing the painting, and from the darkness, Frank Morrison emerging, stopping them. Amanda looked at the screen. She was shocked. Frank, he stopped them? Tyler was equally shocked. Yes, and he didn't tell any of us. Amanda had to find Frank. Amanda ran to the main entrance. Frank was there, as usual, checking tickets. Frank! Frank turned. Yes, Ms. Pierce. Amanda was breathless. You stopped them. The thieves. Saved the painting. The FBI called us. I saw the recordings. You were right. Frank shrugged. Oh, that? It was a small thing. A small thing? You saved a $15 million painting. You never told us who you were. You didn't ask, Frank said calmly. Amanda felt guilty. I belittled you, called you old, useless. I'm sorry. Frank smiled. It's fine. You're young and ambitious. That's normal. But you're not just a security guard, are you? Frank paused. Then, from his pocket, he pulled out an old ID. CIA, Agent Frank Morrison, 1985 to 2015. Amanda looked at the ID. You were in the CIA for 30 years. Yes, International Art Crimes Unit. Prevented 47 major heists. Paris, Rome, Tokyo, London. But I retired. Now I'm just an old security guard. Amanda's eyes filled with tears. Why didn't you tell us? Because nobody asked, and I just want a quiet life. Tyler, Mike, Lisa, all the security team came running. "Frank, the FBI is coming. They want to interview you." Frank shook his head. "No, I won't be interviewed." "But you're a hero. I just did my job, that's all." 2 weeks later, Frank was still at the main entrance, checking tickets. But something had changed. Amanda approached him with respect. Tyler brought him coffee, without condescension. Mike and Lisa asked for his advice, and one day, Amanda came to him. "Frank, I want to offer you something. Head of security position. Will you manage the whole team?" Frank smiled. "Thank you, Ms. Pierce, but no." "Why?" "Because I like standing at the door. I like seeing tourists. I like staying quiet. I just like this job." Amanda understood. "Okay, but I want you to know, you're this museum's most valuable employee." Frank nodded. "Thank you." And Frank stayed at the door. Every day, quietly, humbly. Because real heroes don't seek praise, they just do their job. If Frank Morrison's story moved you, subscribe to Veterans Tales, like this video. Share your thoughts about respecting elders in the comments. Never judge a book by its cover. Do you have a Frank in your life who surprised you? Share in the comments. See you in the next story.